Well, actually, the reason why gas prices were higher under Biden is because Russia started a war with Ukraine. They invaded them to ethnically cleanse them, and then we stopped buying Russian oil. We
Yeah, and guess who went to go
Okay.
over there
So can I
to
please
try to
finish my
stop that,
sentence?
right?
So should I
Wasn't
mute
Kamala
you?
gonna go talk? Wasn't that her job to go over
It
there?
actually wasn't. But you know, so you made upwards of 10 points, and I got to make a half of a point. Do you think that's fair? It's not.
Okay, continue.
So your first blunder was to suggest that Biden made the gas prices higher. Well, that's certainly not true.
Which he
Well,
did.
because, okay. Andy, do I need to mute you? Like, listen, I understand that you guys like to run wild with a narrative that the liberals are the emotionally uncontrollable, like crybabies. If you're going to make that point, don't be the emotionally uncontrollable crybaby. You know, like, at the bare minimum, try to hold yourself to
Okay,
decorum.
so now I'm a
and let me speak
crybaby
and don't
too?
cry. Yes.
I just think it's funny because
But
you just keep
I'm
name
just going to
calling.
mute you and respond at this point in time. So the first claim that you made is that, well, inflation was a 9% high under the Biden-Harris administration. So you're right, it was, but we can't just assume that the administration caused that, because that's what we call a correlation causation fallacy. You'd have to demonstrate what Biden did to cause that higher level of inflation, which you won't be able to do. But out of the kindness of my heart, I'll actually tell you what caused that higher level of inflation. It was the global pandemic, disruptions in the supply chain, and people being out of jobs. As well as economic stimulus. And this inflation wasn't just something that we saw in America. This is something that we saw all across the globe in every country on the face of planet Earth. But a fun fact I'll share with you here is because of the awesome leadership of the Biden-Harris administration, we were able to actually rebound from the inflation onset by the pandemic in America faster than any other country in the G7. So I hope you guys see that, no, I'm not the crybaby, because I'm the one that's exploring nuance here. I'm the one that is exploring fact here, and she's just the one parroting a talking point she heard off the TV here. Now, the second claim that you made here is that we had higher gas prices under Biden when there wasn't a war. So that point was just analytically false to the maximum. There was a war. It was Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Russia accounted for 25% of the total OPEC oil production. When we sanctioned their oil because they invaded Ukraine, we lost access to 25% of the global supply of oil. The basics of economics are as follows. You have a supply curve, you have a demand curve. When demand stays the same and supply goes down, prices go up. So prices went up when we sanctioned the Russian oil. That wasn't just the Democrats, that was the Republicans too. By the way, Trump, coincidentally, this is one of the only things he's done that I support, has made those sanctions on Russian oil stronger. Okay? The second point that I'll make here is that it's crazy you're talking about a president making the price of gas higher when we're looking at Donald Trump today starting a war in Iran, leading to the shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz, causing $1 increase in the average price of a gallon of gas. Holy shit. The third thing that you said in your long soliloquy there is that the Biden-Harris administration let all these criminals into the country. Well, that's certainly not true. Or else they would have had higher deportation rates of undocumented immigrants with bad crimes on their record compared to Donald Trump today. Not to mention you're a hypocrite, because Donald Trump is a criminal that you let run the country. Who are you to say shit about merely letting them in? And Donald Trump's also a hypocrite, because he's the criminal that's turned around and given full and complete presidential pardons to the violent criminals that tried to kill cops on the steps of our Capitol, like J6 rioter DJ Rodriguez, who tried to kill Officer Fanone, let him out of jail, then labeled them as a patriot. Not to mention the cover-up of the Epstein files, having his name illegally redacted over 1 million times, having 2 million files not released at all, and having the names and identities of the co-conspirators inside of the Epstein files completely redacted out of accordance with the law and in defiance of Congress in protection of the criminals. But go ahead. Ignore every single data point that I just shared.
Yeah, but if he was in those files, then why didn't the liberals release it when they had it?
Good question. Because the Biden White House saw independence between the DOJ and the White House. And we know this to be the case because it's not a hypothetical that the files make him look bad, because we've already had files released that make him look bad. Like the letter he sent to Epstein in 2003 depicting the naked body of the girl with the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." Or Epstein's letter to Larry Nazir, another child rapist, who says that Donald Trump shares the affiliation for young, nubile, sexually attractive girls. Or the credible accusation made against Trump that Epstein introduced her to Trump and then Trump did bad things to her. And And this accuser was able to successfully sue Epstein for millions of dollars because he raped her. We know that he was sex trafficked by her. Okay, all of these things and many other things make him look bad, whether you like it or not.
Maybe it makes him look. Maybe it could. You could argue that it makes him look bad, but I don't think
the Biden White House release those things?
But I don't think that there's any. There's just.
And did the Biden White House release those things?
There's just not enough proof.
Did the Biden White House release those? Did the Biden White House release those things? Yeah, what? No, there's something that has made him a criminal. He's found guilty of 34.
I'm talking about Epstein.
Oh, you're talking about Epstein. Perfect. Well, we already know that you don't care about sexual violence because a civil court determined that he raped a woman, and we just heard him admit to sexual violence in the sense of sexual exploitation. Then
again,
I said it wasn't that bad.
Again, I think it's propaganda. I think it's like one of those like, yeah, did Trump rape Miss Carol? No. Like, yeah, you're just literally proving that. No, like, and then everything that.
Oh, wait. Can we touch on that real quick? So this jury verdict form proves that Donald Trump raped Miss Carol. Would you like to know why?
I'm assuming you're going to tell me, right?
Yeah, perfect. Because the action that the jury determined he was guilty of was forcefully penetrating her vagina with his fingers without her consent. Under the strict and narrow definition of the word rape in the state of New York at the time, it wasn't legally rape because their strict and narrow legal definition was only the penetration of the woman's female member or the man's male member, not the penetration of the woman's female member or the fingers. Therefore, legally, they could only determine this to be sexual abuse. But clearly that's still rape.
What did she provide, though?
We could agree that the definition of rape would include the penetration of a woman's female member with any part of a man's body, especially his fingers.
What did she provide, though, outside of just her word? Outside of her testimony, what did she provide?
You're pivoting away from acknowledging that the jury determined that he raped her. Please acknowledge that the jury determined that he raped her.
The jury determined it, but based off what? What she said?
Based upon the evidence.
What was the evidence besides her testimony?
Yeah, for sure. The testimony of 7 other people.
Yeah, what else is there? What's the actual evidence? Because anyone
I'm trying to tell you, but you're interrupting me. You asked me what the evidence was. I'm trying to tell you what the evidence was. Why are you interrupting me?
I had a friend in college.
Why are you interrupting me? You asked me what the evidence was. I was just trying to tell you what the evidence was. You asked me what the evidence was. Let me tell you what the evidence was. Holy fuck.
Tell me.
Thank you.
And I'm not going to take the testimony because that's not evidence.
Okay, yeah, well, if testimony is an evidence,
so let's hear it.
I'd question why you believe Veronica earlier. But anyways, so yeah, the evidence would be as follows. A cooperation between her testimony, the testimony of some other people, and a therapist notes from the 90s where she indicated that she was raped by Donald Trump, and the dress that she submitted to the court claiming that it was from the day that she was raped by Donald Trump with his DNA in it. Court proved it had unknown male DNA in it. They asked Donald Trump to supply his DNA to the court to test it against the DNA in the dress. The court, then he refused to. That's not something that a guilty man would do. Sorry, that's not something that an innocent man would do, because an innocent man would submit their DNA to prove their innocence. Now, the second form of evidence that we have here is the lies and inconsistencies within Donald Trump's testimony inside of the court case. He testified to the fact that he never met her. That was proven to be a lie because she responded by supplying a picture of them together to the courtroom. He also said, that he would never do anything to her because she wasn't his type, but that was also proven to be a lie because under deposition, he mistook a picture of his ex-wife, Marla Maples, his type, to be E. Jean Carroll. Now, on top of this, we also have all of Donald Trump's character priors, with the most notable of them being Donald Trump in 2005 saying that he could just grab women by their vaginas without asking first. What did the jury determine?
Let me ask you something.
He grabbed a woman by her vagina without asking first.
Okay, let me quick ask you something. So I also heard that there was within her side of things within her testimony where she was literally giggling and laughing with him all the way up to those rooms, and then on that I'm sorry, but if I'm in a store and a guy let me go try on lingerie for you, I'm pretty positive that's not, at this point, I feel like that's just egging it on. I'm sorry, but I won't say that whatever, if he did it, whatever. But what I'm saying is I don't think that there's two people, right? And she was literally egging it on. So I feel like she put herself in that position. 100%. Anyone that would not want to get touched by this man would not go try on lingerie in front of him. Period. I don't know. I think that's what do you got to say to that? Honestly. You can't sit here and say that that's 100% on the man.
I'm so disgusted. Hearing this every day has really impacted my mental health, and I'm sure that the same thing is
so
true.
has having trans in our locker rooms. I'm disgusted with you guys
I
too.
let you speak for as long as you wanted to. Now you will be
No,
quiet.
you didn't. You muted me the entire time.
Are you delusional? I literally just
No,
let
I'm
you
not
speak until you had
delusional. Thank
nothing
you very
else to
much.
say. Okay, you have more to say. Go ahead. What else do you have to say before I could speak without you interrupting me 2 words on?
Okay. Well, one, I would say you just I feel like you lose all these debates and all you have is to like mute people and call them names. Like now I'm delusional. And then now you're all of a sudden winning the debate in your mind, right? You're telling all your fans, "Oh, I'm winning," but you're really not. I literally just proved a point. This girl literally said yes to going and trying
I
on
tried to
lingerie.
respond to the point and you wouldn't let me.
Okay, so respond, because you were sitting there like speechless for like 2 minutes.
The reason why I was sitting there speechless is just because I'm taken aback by the victim blaming rhetoric that I'm hearing from you in consideration of the fact that once again you're a woman. Okay? For you to sit here and say that men own the bodies of women if women do things that could be construed as a sexual engagement is disgusting. I don't care if E. Jean Carroll was giggling at him. That doesn't mean he owns her body and could do whatever he wants with it.
Did I say that? No.
I don't care that E. Jean Carroll was willing to go into a dressing room with him. That doesn't mean that he owns her body and could do whatever
And I
he
never
wanted to
made
it.
that claim.
That is exactly what you said. You said, and
I never made that claim that he owned her
That is
body. That's
exactly
not-
what you said by arguing that because she was giggling and because she invited him into the dressing room with him, that therefore it wasn't rape when he penetrated her vagina without her consent. This is the issue.